If Donald Trump can get $10 billion theoretically from the Department of Justice, how much should these people get?
This moment says everything about power.
Article 2, Section 1, Clause 7 of the Constitution is the Domestic Emoluments Clause. And it says that the president is limited to his salary in office and cannot receive any other money from the federal government while he's in office. It cannot be increased by $1. This president is the first president in U.S. history who has repeatedly sued the federal government for $230 million for the judicial search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, which was perfectly lawful and was never struck down. But now he's suing the IRS for $10 billion. I think it's around 80% of its annual budget. I want to ask you the question of whether you think it would violate the Domestic Emoluments Clause.
I'm not going to discuss pending litigation.
Because President Trump may have been a little bit embarrassed by the release of those tax returns. How much do you think the claims of these survivors are worth? There were lots of survivors who had decided, for reasons of their own, never to release their names. That determination was represented to people in Congress, and we built it into our federal law that their names could not be released, and yet you published their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, personally identifying information. If Donald Trump can get $10 billion theoretically from the Department of Justice, how much should these people get for a far worse violation of their privacy rights and a far greater danger established to them in their lives?
You're so obsessed with, you don't, do
I'm
you?
going to teach you the rules again. You're the Attorney General of the United States. We have rules here. You have to be quiet. You have no choice. So I hope you understand the rule at this point. Now, here's what I want to ask you. You're in law enforcement. We've seen all kinds of evidence of crimes. And when we go over to the Department of Justice for the 4 computers for every member of Congress, we see more evidence of crimes. Will you create a joint task force of the Department of Justice and governors and state attorney generals and district attorneys across the country to investigate the crimes that have taken place against these victims and more than 1,000 like them? The DOJ is not doing its job. Will you create a task force with state and local law enforcement to make that happen?